What's up, family? This is Sulena Olivia on That's So Music. This is a That's So Music moment, and I'm here with a friend and music industry colleague and sister, Davonne Danielle. Hi, Davonne.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Always, as I've told you before, I love and support you, and was just thinking about the project and was like, how can I help push this? Well, I don't know everybody, and everybody doesn't know so, but whatever platform that I have, I wanted to just spread the word about this project because you're dope. I love your music, and you're so authentic. Guys, this is an artist who believes what she sings. Like she sings from her heart. It's not her writing something that's commercial, what she thinks will sell. She literally writes how she feels. So let's jump right into it. What project have you released recently? And tell us about how you came to write it and just all that.
So, the project that I just released, a month ago or so, is called After the Let Out, and it's a collection of songs. It's a little bit different than my normal kind of approach because the project prior to that was called Esterone. The one before that was Skin Tone Brown, and both of them kind of have like funk,
Yeah.
a lot of like hard hitting stuff. But this one is very much mellow. I started it with the title track is The Let Out, and so that has kind of like the go-go feel, and the overall, I guess, concept of the project everything comes as an afterthought for me. Like I write the song, then I title it. I record all the songs,
Oh,
then
really?
I title the project because I'm like, whatever this was in me was a feeling or a thought, and then I have to get it all out, and then I reflect. Okay, like okay, now what is this saying?
Okay.
That I don't know. My mind works in reverse.
No, that's cool. I'm always intrigued about that process because there's people who do it opposite, where
Yeah.
they write from yeah. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Sometimes I can say, okay, I'll name a song this. Like if a song, like if a beat has a specific sample, if it has a specific sample in the beat or something that kind of pulls a topic out, or I can kind of zero in on that, then I can do it. But most times it's in reverse. A lot of times it's in reverse.
Okay.
So I originally I wanted to do a country type inspired project, right? So I wrote this song called Losing You. And the main difference in this project and all the rest of them is I was very, very instrumental in like the from scratch process, right? A lot of the songs I wrote first with no instrumentation.
Okay.
And so I would go in with a musician or the producers for the majority of the songs and say, this is what I have in mind, and I would sing it. And
Okay.
then, so for Losing You was the first song that I recorded for this project. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do me, acoustic guitar. That's it. But of course, once I got like the scratch vocals down and the guitar part, it did sound a little open. So I pulled on another one of my producer friends, and he kind of put some keys, violins, organ, which I love organ in anything.
I've noticed that.
And so it kind of came together. And then I was like, I don't know if I can do a whole project like this, but I did get a couple other songs kind of like with that country feel, because although I was like, this will be like country inspired, I don't know if it will translate that way. Like I know like the writing style and how I approached the songs were kind of very slow storytelling, like
Yeah,
country music.
which is yeah.
So the approach was country, and I'm like, this may not be even, it may not even register to the listener, but I know what I was inspired by. So that
Yeah.
was just it. And so, but then I'm like, even though I want to do like country inspired, I still sound like myself, and which is like super R&B, super soul. Um, type sound. So I'm like, this information may just be good just for me to know what I was inspired by, and for times like this when I can speak on it. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much what happened. I worked with, so for Losing You, um, I work with a guy named Jason Watkins. He plays guitar actually at my church. So we kind of connect every now and again. So he laid down all the guitar parts, and then Desmond Parson, who is a another phenomenal R&B artist. I actually do visual work for him.
That you do this,
So,
by the way.
I'm sorry.
You push up, you. I love the fact. I'm sorry. I love the fact that you do this.
Oh, what visuals?
That too.
Oh,
People. You promote people.
oh, absolutely,
You
absolutely.
work with them. You're going to speak their name more than once. I
Yeah,
love that about
absolutely,
you.
absolutely.
I'm
And
sorry I
so,
interrupted you.
so yeah, so I sent Des the guitar parts. I'm like in the scratch vocals, and then we kind of went back and forth like, how do you feel about little violin, and how do you feel about this? And I'm like, you know what, organ. And then he put some organ parts in there. So that's one thing that was super different from any other project that I have released in the past, that I was super hands on in what I heard and what instruments I wanted and how I wanted the snare to sound, and what how I wanted the kind of chords to kind of follow some of the vocals, and how I wrote the song. So it was a good experience. It was something that it's something that I always wanted.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the resources at the time. So, producers would send me beats and instrumentals on what they thought my sound was or should be or could be. And for a long time, I would just write to them, you know. And then producers that I enjoyed their sound, they would send me stuff, and then I kind of just form around it. But for this project in particular, which is why um, I'm super proud of it, because it was like I was a part of the process from scratch.
Yeah. There's
So
nothing like it.
yeah, so yeah, that is, so after the let out, it is streaming everywhere. Oh, and let me backtrack. So the once I wrote and recorded all the songs, and then I kind of named them, I'm like, so what, this is different. Like, I don't really have any like foot stomping songs like I usually do. So of course I added one. No, I added two. The title track, the let out, which has like the go-go feel. And I'm like, so once I had the title in mind, like, I'm gonna call this project After the Let Out, I said I'll kind of do it kind of on a journey from like the party to, leaving the party, to you're still kind of on a high, interactions that may have happened during the party or wherever you were at when you were out. Then it kind of slows down and kind of rides out for the rest of the way. And it's
Yeah.
like, this is the music that you listen to after you've gone out and had a good time. Like, a lot of times people don't, I know me personally, I mean, I listen to R&B to the club, back from the club, in between, whatever. But a lot of times it'll end up on like your after hours playlist, or, driving music while you're on the way home. So I'm like, okay, got it. After the let out, and then kind of put the track list together to make it all make sense. And that's that on that. After the let out.
And I love the fact that you created a project that kind of walks with the person.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you were talking about after the club, um, or after you leave the club, there's a lot of people that either linger in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, like, so I'm putting myself out there. So
Mhm.
when I go, when I go out, I don't do. I like places that are more like a lounge feel.
Mhm.
Usually, when I'm going to support somebody, I'm usually going to see somebody perform,
Mhm.
and I'll linger and I'll talk and I'll socialize. But when the rowdy crowd comes in, that's when I bounce.
Time to go.
But I don't want to go home yet.
Mhm.
So sometimes I'll hit up some friends. I'll be like, "What are y'all doing?" We'll go out to eat to one of those spots, or we'll linger at somebody's house
Mhm.
and there's music playing. So literally, your project, a person could start listening to on the way if they want to. They're
Mhm.
definitely going to hit it up after the let out.
Right.
They could chill to it. They could have just like some wine, some drinks, whatever,
Mhm.
and listen to the music and be good and just chill.
Yep. And that's kind of where like the video, we shot a video for the let out. And one of the scenes was just like me and some friends just in the parking lot. You know, everybody had cups. Um
I thought you were going to go to that. That's part of the reason I went to
j-
it.
just like you know, the camaraderie after the club lets out, but nobody, very rarely will somebody leave a party or a function and just get in the car and go right home. Like you're gonna be
Right.
in the parking lot for a little bit and see who is who, where who is going, whatever, whatever. And so um yeah, that was it, it was fitting. It made sense. So people can really get the idea of what I was going for.
All right. So let's talk about your writing. How would you say it's evolved from your first project up to this recent?
So my very first project, I don't think I wrote anything on that project. Songwriting for me always felt like such an intimate and private and revealing process. So I guess earlier on in my artistry, I don't know if I didn't trust myself or I didn't want to share in that way.
Yeah.
And so um, as that process kind of progressed, I had two friends. We all went to Wesley College, and they were writers. They did poetry, just journal, free write type stuff, but they weren't singers. So I'm like, cool. We can do kind of a tag team thing where I'll tell you what I want to say, kind of like general idea, and then you kind of formulate it.
Right.
But what I found was once I got the lyrics, it's like, I'm like, I probably wouldn't say this like this. This isn't really my vernacular, or to say this phrase, I would say it like this. So I found myself rewriting a lot of the songs. So I'm like, well, this is dumb and double and triple work. And I can just do it from the jump, right? So because it was such a process, because they wouldn't really have a melody, really, maybe a very light one. So
Yeah.
it turned into me trying to figure out what the melody was, phrasing, switching words around, and then kind of becoming one with the lyrics, because it's like not my exact words, so I have to kind of figure out how to feel it. So it's like this is triple work when I can just start from scratch myself and write the song instead of rewriting it twice to then record it.
It's almost like you needed to experience that though.
Yeah, it definitely helped. It definitely helped because it was like it kind of steered me in the way of what my voice was and how I wanted to present it. And so um that was that time. That was that moment in time. And then once I finally wrote my first song, it was like I can't turn back now.
Yes.
It felt so natural and so real, like when I went to record it. And
Yeah.
even the engineer that I was working with at the time, he was like, "Who wrote this?" And I was like, "Me." And he was like, "I could tell. I can tell." It just felt more free.
Okay.
It wasn't like, okay, I'm reading these words, I'm trying to say it right, how to.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's your words, like I can't tell you if like any two takes are ever the same, but it's
Mm-hmm.
me, you know, so
Mm-hmm.
I can subtract and add, and I'll do this on a different rhythm this go round and stuff like that. So from then being afraid and like scared to write to now halfway giving people the side out if they say I got something for you. It's weird that way, because now, from being terrified of a process to now holding it so near and dear to me, that um I'm always a little hesitant when I go into a session where I'm co-writing something, or somebody said I want to write you a song, and I'm like, okay, well, we can write it together. And that way I have just a little bit of my flavor
Yeah.
sprinkled on top, whatever they come with. But I mean, it's not to say I'm not completely against it. One of the probably highest streamed songs right now, Hey Baby, on After the Let Out, me and Doug co-wrote. He was like, yo sis, I got something for you. I
Not the
started
voice.
writing this song.
She's doing the voice.
His voice was way deeper than that. Probably was like, yo sis,
Right?
I got this song. And so he sang it for me. I did nip and tuck a little bit. He wrote the first verse, and then I wrote the second verse. And people really like that song. So I'm not opposed to the process. I just like to be involved.
I can understand that,
Mhm.
especially with like what I told you guys. Davonne is definitely an artist that is very connected to her music. There's a lot of you can tell when you see someone perform
Mhm.
whether they are in this for the gloss or and glory, or if they really got it in their gut, like it's
Right.
in their soul.
Mhm.
And I'm segueing into when I first saw you. So,
Okay.
um, and I did say, "Oh my," no, I'm just I did. I actually it was so Brianna,
Mhm.
formerly Lewis, now Stone, married to Josh Stone, who's also the church barber,
Mhm.
who gets me right, guys. This is his work on the sides here. This is him. um, her and I are birthday twins.
Oh, nice.
So we, when we figured that out, it's funny because we knew each other for years, but didn't know. Anyway, we didn't know that our birthdays were exactly the same day. So that particular year, I want to say it was 20. It had to be 2019.
What is
Yep,
it?
April 1st.
April 1st. Okay. Okay.
And so that April, she like a week or so before was like, "Hey, so I'm going to the living room social," which I miss that place. I
Yeah.
miss that space.
Yeah.
I've hit up Black a couple of times, like, "Are you bringing it back? Like, when you bring it, you know?" But anyway, um, and lo and behold, this beautiful, soulful vocalist gets up there and sings "Take Me to the River." And I felt like I was taken to church. And I was like, who is this woman? So I will tell you, so I did put two and two together as you were singing. I was like, wait a minute. This is the artist that I've seen. Because I would see Erica every once in a while, like
Mhm.
post things, like pictures of her on the drums playing for you.
Mhm.
I'd never heard you prior to that night.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, just blown away. I was
Oh.
absolutely blown away by you. Yeah, just absolutely blown away. And the the swag, the swag that she walked up there with, and I was like, no, she didn't just take us to church and act like she didn't just take us to church. You're amazing. You're amazing in so many different ways. Like you're true to you. If you get nervous, we can't tell.
Mhm.
Um, Yeah, like even when you go live, you go live on
Mhm.
Instagram, you literally just take us into your space. There's this confidence that you have, and it's not arrogant. Like it's you just, yeah. How did you get there? Is there anybody that inspired you? Who did you learn from?
Um, I think it comes from a few places.
Okay.
Um, in high school, I had a choir and chorus teacher that I loved, and she would tell us, like, don't tell on yourself. And when you're up there singing those, I don't know what genre is that we sing in high school.
Choral music.
Yeah, like people don't know, and it's like even like when presenting, speaking, like if you like, or you know,
Yeah.
a quick gesture that kind of will tell the story, like, oh, they must have just messed up, like.
Right.
So I always approach like the stage, and like if I have to speak at work or something, like, y'all don't know what I'm supposed to be saying.
Right.
So, and then it's like, once you're up there, you have to deliver, because I mean, you're up there now, so you might as well just go for it and try your best. So it just comes from a lot of different, I guess, practice going before people. So, like church, church, going to church and having to be up front and say your children's day part, or read the scripture on fourth Sunday, because all the kids, that's when the kids participate, or playing the keys at church. And so being in front of people where you can't kind of tuck it in.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of times when I'm very nervous. It's a lot of times when I'm very nervous. Not when I'm on stage though. It's all like pre-show. Like during the day, that whole day, if it's like a big event, I'm nervous the whole day.
Yeah.
Once I'm there and I hear music, it's like, okay. And then once they say my name, it's showtime then.
Yeah. So I
So
can relate to the whole, once you're on stage, it's almost like you get this injection. It sounds so crazy, but it's almost like it snaps.
it's like
But
an out of body almost.
yeah.
Like an out of body experience where, like, a lot of people you see, and it's not that they're like fake or putting on, but a lot of people in their artistry, like in their true creative, when you are walking and performing in your true creative self, like it's night and day from having a conversation
Yep.
with them. And so it's like you kind of, so I completely understand, Beyonce, when she said,
I
Beyonce
was going to
and
say that.
Tasha Fields, two totally different people,
People.
two totally different people. And so once you um once you touch the stage, touch the mic, if you are the artist, you want to be the artist that you desire and aspire to be, you got to just get up there and do it.
And I know it's a different stage what I'm about to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But every Sunday, I am reminded of that whole dynamic, because, in fact, I told one of my colleagues, I was like, because we do run throughs, and rehearsal is rehearsal, but when it's showtime or it's time to worship,
Mm-hmm.
and people are in the seats,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I put my cape on. One of my team members said to me one time, they were like, I don't even remember their exact wording, but they were basically like, okay, the person that was just, I'm still the same person at the core, but I mean, I put on my face, just if there was any pain or frustration from the morning or from the day before, all that stuff is gone,
Right.
because I'm going to be in front of this audience. And especially with worship leading, you're leading them into God's presence. So it's a different element than entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, having anything as your distraction is it's not good.
Right.
Then on the entertainment side, putting that cape on. In fact, when you said it's not like they're putting on, actually we do put on. We
Mm-hmm.
put on our stage presence, the face that we want people to see, which is still our face.
I just had a thought.
Okay.
As creatives, are we putting on the majority of the time when we're not creating or performing? Like,
Oh,
are we our true selves?
oh.
Who we really
Once we
on
get on
stage,
stage,
but then all the rest of the time we're just blending in.
yeah,
Mm.
we got to have this conversation again with a couple other creatives. Are you game? No, for real, like,
Yeah, I'm down.
um, we'll do that. Guys, let me know in the comments if you're watching YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, if you want to see that, and we'll make it happen sooner than later. Okay, so we're running out of time, but
Oh.
we're gonna let you guys see. I think we're gonna do "Let It Out."
Mm-hmm.
After the let out, let it out, Jesus. After the let out, um, we just got finished talking about being our true selves on the stage, and the rest of the time we're putting on. Let out was in my head. Let it out because we are really unleashing our true self. That's so true.
Mm-hmm. So I
Wow.
don't that just crossed my mind just in that moment. Like I wonder if we walk the earth blending in because everybody knows creatives and artists and musicians. We all got a little loose screw. We all got a couple loose screws, and so it's not. So when somebody said, "Oh yeah, I'm an artist," it's like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, you're a musician. Oh, okay, I could tell. Because everybody,
Hmm.
our language is music.
Hmm.
We speak the universal language, so it doesn't always translate to English or normal dialogue and,
Right.
and normal human interactions.
Who else in the middle of a family dinner grabs a napkin and starts writing because when somebody mistakenly hit their fork against the glass, it made them hear a beat. Like we're different.
And
Um,
you have to get it out before it escapes you. I always tell people I have washed so many songs down the drain and I have flushed so many songs down the toilet because you're in the bathroom, you can't touch anything, you can't get it out. So that's
yeah,
why I've started to take my phone in the bathroom with me even when I'm, taking a shower or with anything because
yeah.
you never know
You
when
never know
something might hit
inspiration.
you. And then by the time you get to your phone, it's like, now what was I saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
You
now
know what I do, Davonne?
I
You
lost
know, I do sometimes if I don't have my phone, I
it.
will the music theory geek in me comes out. I'll start to hum the melody and I will hear the solfege related to it. So I'll hear, oh, that's a 5, 4. Da, da, da. And so I like do that over and over again so it kind of imprints in my memory. And
Mhm.
then as soon as I get out of the bathroom or as soon as I get out of wherever I am and I can get to something or grab my phone, I
Mhm.
get it. Sometimes it's not always accurate though. If you don't get in that moment, it's not exactly the same. It's like, shoot.
Yeah, I'm not as well versed in music theory as I would like to be, so that approach probably will be not the best one for me.
Okay.
I do want to learn, like, if somebody says, "Okay, 4," I want to learn, how to play it and how to
No,
hear it. But that's another day, another
that even
lesson.
says more. That even says more. I work with people who are the opposite, where they got to see it to be able to play it. And so they look
Mm.
at us that can hear. I, years ago, in fact, someone that I'll be bringing on in a future episode, she's actually having on her platform. She's like a mentor to me. Her late father said to me, "You sing great. You're an awesome musician, but you need to add sight reading." I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "No, I mean it." He was real stern. I'm like, "No, don't just take this as just a good idea. You need to do this." And I kept hearing him say that. And in high school, I grabbed my chorus teacher and was like, "Teach me how to sight read." And it was a task because I was so used to playing and singing by ear. Um, Even when I got to college, one of my professors, she was like, she was sitting next to me, and this will not be about me. I'll take 30 seconds for this. Um, we were playing. She had the sheet music in front of me, and I, by habit, went off the sheet music and played what I heard.
Mhm.
I saw her in my peripheral go like this. She didn't want to stop me because what she said next told on her. So she's sitting there. She put her head down, and she was like, when she put her head back up, she was like, "Sulena, that was beautiful. That was not what was on the sheet." And she said, "I actually envy you. I actually envy you because I can only play what I see. I can't. I can't hear what you were hearing. You were just hearing these beautiful melodies, but I need you to play what's on the sheet. It's so interesting how those two worlds, we can exist together,
Mm-hmm.
and we also kind of want what the other has. But like,
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could. Yeah,
That's so weird. That's weird to me that trained musicians can't just flow.
yeah,
That is so weird to me.
yeah.
Like, you mean to tell me like you can't just feel it once you have like the theory down? Like, you should be able to kind of.
It's a thing.
It's just like in driving school, they teach us we gotta hold the wheel. What is this? 10 and 2.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, by the time driving school is over, once you're comfortable on the road, everybody's like,
one hand.
no.
Woman. Turning like this. Yeah. All right, fam. So you've sat here and enjoyed a conversation, I might as well say, between Davonne and I. As you can see, isn't she dope? She's awesome. She's an amazing person, amazing artist. Dropped a wisdom bomb on us with that creatives, us being our true selves on stage. It's true. We really are. You see a layer of us that we're not able to release really in our day-to-day, especially for those who work 9 to 5s. So that is it for that interview conversation portion. But I'm going to bring Davonne back, and she's going to share some things from her heart and kind of close us out, and then introduce this video that you're going to see. So thanks for watching, and here's Davonne.
Hey y'all, my name is Davonne Danielle. You can follow me everywhere at Davonne Danielle, and that's spelled just as it is on the screen, DAVONNE DNEIL. My project, brand new, hot off the press, is streaming wherever you listen to or purchase your music. So just type in my name, and some other goodies should pop up as well. And we are about to check out my video for The Let Out. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you on social media.
I love your music. After the let out, I'ma slow the music down. You could be on your way. Tell me if you're with it, babe. After the let out, and everybody feeling their dreams, I only wanna see you in the back table for 2. Everybody backed in the parking lot like 20 minutes after 2. They had the cars and the bottles and the money out, and I got my eyesight on you. Like oh, 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 oh. Meet me after the let out. I probably just ride around, yeah. Lights down low and the slow jams, body and soul and romance. Texting this man that I can't stand. Don't blow my vibe just cause you mad. Cause I'm outside with it. I'm outside with it. I'm outside with it. Like oh, 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 oh. After the let out.
I couldn't be the love interest because I'm too diverse. I'm very, very diverse.
I couldn't be the love. You embarrass me in front of my company.
Let's do it on 3. 1, 2, 3, hit it.
Rolling. Action.